up, everybody? Mad Outdoorsman here. Folks, just doing some hiking out in the woods. Actually looking for winter camping spots for next winter, as we are going into early springtime here. The hunt never ends. All right. Also doing a little dare scouting out here. But I wanted to show you guys something. So I found a nice spot here along a lake on state property. All right, so there's no residences over here whatsoever. I do have some lakeside cottages on the other side of the lake that looks like they're year-round residences. And then out towards that way where I'm pointing is a private family-owned campground that's only open 6 months out of the year. All right, so as far as winter camping goes, just a few things to consider. As far as outdoor fire pits go, you know, I want to be as stealth as possible. I'm always at a loss for words. Yeah, I want to go as stealth as possible. So as far as outdoor camping fires go at nighttime in particular, that's probably out. Only because of these residences that are across the lake. I don't need them seeing a glow of a campfire on state land. But as far as my hot tent goes, I do feel confident using that hot tent at nighttime. You know, the wood stove will be inside the tent. It's a fully enclosed wood stove. It'll be camouflaged. The light of the fire will be camouflaged from the tent. So that's probably how I'm going to do it up next season. I've never camped this area. I should say I've never camped this close to what I would call civilization. I do have a main road that's across the lake. It's the main road that comes in and out of this small town that I'm currently in right now. So, you know, the imagination always runs away with me, folks, when I'm out here doing these little excursions, you know, and this is why I wanted to make this video and share it with you guys today. So if I had to think of SHTF, you know, if we're in a total break bad event where society is collapsing, right? I gotta ask myself, would this be the most ideal spot to set up a bug out camp? And the answer to that is a very matter of fact no. No bueno, for so many reasons. You know, I do have those residences over there across the lake, you know. I just talked about having an open campfire out here, smoke, you know. I do have that main road out there across the lake. And with the winter months, I mean, we're in the start of spring right now, so the foliage is starting to come in a little bit, as you can see in this area. But you know, if we're in a break bad situation, I do have a main road over there, and I just do not want to take the chance between that road and those residences across the lake to be spotted. All right. So those two right there would be the two big cons to setting up a campsite over here in a break bad situation. All right, I would definitely want to go more inland, up into these hills where it stretches out to about 4,000 to 5,000 acres of just open raw forest. You know, and then I do have streams back there for freshwater collection, and you know, there are hiking trails back here through these woods that intertwine through these woods, but it is so vast. And I would be far off of these hiking trails where I really wouldn't have to worry too much. I also got to keep into consideration that I wouldn't probably be the only individual with this idea, you know, to come out into the wilderness to bug out. So I got to keep that in mind too. So the pros to that is I know these woods. I've hunted these woods for many years. I've camped out in these woods. I've hiked the trails. I've driven down the dirt roads that come in and out of this area. So I know how to get lost in here, so to speak, and be away from people. But yeah, and a break bad event, this would not be the ideal place to camp. During normal times, I love it. And don't get me wrong. I mean, yeah, still, I would not use the open fire pit out here for obvious reasons. Just went over that as far as the hot tent goes. I would just use the cook fire inside the tent. I do have a pretty good sized hill up in front of me over here, which would be in the back of the campsite. All right, and so we go up and then we come down to a hiking trail that runs parallel, well, from left to right or whatever, right to left. And that hiking trail is a good 200 to 300 yards away from my current location. Now I'm actually going to trace a path and measure it when I get ready to walk out of here in a few minutes. So as far as being camouflaged from any hikers, yeah, I'm not worried about that. The smoke from the stovepipe, not worried too much about that because I'm down here in this dip at the bottom of this hill, but I'm loving the fresh water collection right here. Obviously I'm going to purify it. There is some awesome fishing in this lake. This is a pretty good sized lake. It's considered a reservoir, so it's a good sized reservoir, and there are plenty of fish in here. I have fished this lake in the past, so I'm not worried about that as far as getting food. But yeah, ideally, no. SHTF, absolutely not. Too close to civilization. All right, so these are some of the things that you got to keep in mind if you are deciding to bug out into the wilderness. It might look pretty, all right? You might have some nice flat land to set up your tent, and your other camping supplies. You might have a nice hill in the back of you, but there's, like I said, we got houses right over here across the lake and a main road, and therefore, as a result of that, I would not set up a bug out camp here. Plenty of game trails that run through here. I'm spotting some deer shit. Looks like a little bit older droppings, but I saw some fresh droppings when I was coming off of this hill here when I walked in. So it's good for hunting. Plenty of firewood, obviously. Got a lot of standing dead trees. So what I'll do after hunting season is done next winter is I'll come in here and I will set this area up. Get all this brush out of here. Do a little bit of cutting down by the lakeside over here so I can clear an area to collect some water and get some fishing in. And I'll be able to set up my camp. Widowmakers. What do I mean by widowmakers? Standing dead trees, guys. Gotta be careful of that, especially in high winds. Especially in an area like this where you're sitting right on a lake. There's a lot of wind that comes off this lake. So you gotta be mindful of that, So with that said, I do have a big, huge pine tree right here. I do have some dead branches coming off of the base of this tree, but as we go up the tree, it looks like it's getting healthier. All right. But with that said, I got to consider high winds. I got to consider heavy snowfall, snow building up on those healthy branches up there, and perhaps, having some limbs snap. So I'm looking at the base of the tree here, and I'm looking at some deadfall that probably came off of this pine tree at some point. This is definitely dead pine right here. You can just tell by looking at it. All right, and it most likely came off this tree. But that's the thing with these woods, guys. It's always my dilemma. Whenever I'm scouting a camping spot for winter camping, you know, this is one of my number one concerns, you know. And it's always like when I always come across an area where I say, shit, this is a decent area, nice and flat, minimal cutting involved, fresh water collection, not too far away. And then I look up and I'm like, damn it, I got a widowmaker right over my head. Guys, I could be scouring these woods all day long, and I could come across spots just like this and look up and be like, yep, there's a widowmaker. So with that said, Mad Outdoorsman is going to take the chance. I'm just going to do it. And I will be setting up shop this coming January and getting some winter camping in. This will be one of my many spots. I'm looking forward to trying it out. And I'm really looking forward to this lake freezing over in the winter and checking out that scene, you know, just the peace and quiet of what the outdoors has to offer. So there's that. Got a good sized boulder over here where I can use as a workstation. It's got somewhat of a flat surface on this side of it, so I can chop some wood up, stack it up. I can erect a tarp shelter to put some supplies under, you know, maybe stack some more wood under there. That would be if I do some long-term camping out here. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But all in all, as far as a normal times, you know, pre-SHTF era camping spot, I like it and I'm going to do it. But again, if this was a bug out situation where we were in a society that totally collapsed and we had people out there that are killing each other for over a can of peaches, you know, and trying to hunt me down because I've got a backpack on my back and killing me for that, yeah, I would not set up shop over here. All right, so, and that's really that. So there you go, folks. Pros and cons to an SHTF campsite, and what to look for and all that fun stuff. I hope you learned something. Hope you enjoyed the video. Mad Outdoorsman. Thanks for watching.